Hi, Radhika. You are the third person in row who's young, passionate, amazing, and quite influential on LinkedIn. So I am honored to do this interview with you. Thank you so much for taking out time at this hour and still glowing. Thank you so much for being here. It's an honor. I would love if you could introduce yourself to the audience, and then we'll start with the series 30 under 30, where I'm going to ask you 30 questions as a rapid fire. Just take it as coffee with Karan. I'm your Karan, you're the superstar, and let's see how it goes. So, are you excited?
Yeah, of course. I actually wanted to be on the show ever since childhood, but now that you've given me a quasi opportunity to be here on the show and treat myself as celebrity, so why not? So definitely, I'm quite excited, and I'll brace myself up for some really rapid fire questions. But talking about me, I'm just an individual as many other people. I'm just a normal human being. I think what made me different from others on LinkedIn was my consistency and my love for the writing. Whatever I did was something that I loved generally, and that's the outcome that is seen, when people read your content, because there are many who just post on social media for the heck of it or maybe just to gain traction. But if you genuinely love something and keep on doing consistently, I think it shows up, and that's how you build your loyal followers as well. So people might not know about my entire journey, but all they know about is my presence on LinkedIn. But I think my entire journey has been very helpful in getting me where I am today. I think right from the college days, my entire friend circle has been very supportive. They have encouraged me to join the platform. I never thought that I could write on LinkedIn, but they told me that why don't you start writing? Because I used to write poems, and one day one of my friends saw my diary and he was like, "You write so well. Why don't you go out there on social media and just write about it?" So my first post indeed was a very philosophical post, and I still remember that it just got 3 likes, but I understood that it's a people's platform, and I need to also cater to what people would want to read and not just what I would want to write on. So I started to identify my other interest areas apart from philosophy. I never used to be a person who was into reading newspapers, but like I said, I had the right influence, I had the right mentors. They told me that start reading newspaper, and whatever you speak or write on, it'll just be more polished, because that's how journalists also train themselves, and that's how news anchors are usually. So I started that and I loved it, and that's how I used to write on current affairs and business stories on a daily basis. I still remember the days when I used to stay back in my office while I was doing my internship after 7 o'clock, when everybody used to leave, because I used to dedicate like about 1 or 1.5 hour just to read about the news and write about it on LinkedIn. And most of my time in the library, when other students would be studying about CA or CFA, I would be scrolling on LinkedIn, reading about different people, how they post, what kind of content that they do. And I just studied the platform organically entirely. And it helped me navigate through my interest area as well as what people on LinkedIn generally like. So it all just came naturally to me, and naturally I started writing. And here I am, although I think there's still a very, very long way to go. There's no end to learning, no end to growing. And whenever you feel that you have reached an end, that's a dead end. You really don't live life after that. So I think right now I'm working in a law firm also called Touchstone Partners. My mentor there, Ruchir Sinha, he really is a brilliant mentor to me. He's taught me about Buddhism, about management, about how to grow professional services firm. It's a lot. And I think the way I'm able to speak today is a lot, that I've gained from there also. So I think every part of my life has contributed significantly into, me being whatever I am today. So yeah, I think that was about it.
I am actually more impressed after hearing all this. The way you structure your thoughts, it's just that, and sometimes when I read your posts, it's just like I'm talking to you. it just
Okay.
gets to my head. I really wanted a voice to associate with what I was reading, and I finally got it. But it's something that I relate to, or something that it's just magical, I feel. And now I know why, because you have so many stories, so many tales, so many experiences, that you kind of amalgamate all that magic and put it on LinkedIn. You are actually very right. You have been very consistent, and after you have started, a lot of other people have started writing, but the quality of your content has never degraded. I've seen over time people just write for the sake of it, but it just shows that you have that passion for writing, a, exploring, b, and talking and putting your views out, c, that you've been able to maintain the quality. It's completely my honor to talk to you for the next 30 minutes. And yeah, so I'll be starting the series. I have all your 30 questions ready, so let's get started.
Yes,
Okay.
sure it.
So what makes you Radhika?
Okay, so this is a very funny question because my parents have named me so, so I really can't go against it or, have some logic behind it. But I think I don't think so that many people know me so far, but for those who know me, I think it's my content for which I'm known in the market and not my name per se, because I'm not a star kid or I don't come from a background where the generations were known, and so will I be known naturally. I think I've only made my name known in the market with the work I do, and I think that that's how it should be, because that's how a person can remain humble and stay grounded to their own values. Because if success comes to you easily, you don't really believe in it. You think that everything is just very easy for you in life. You take people for granted, you take your work for granted, and then your success goes for a toss, and you don't even realize it when it's gone. And that's when depression kicks in, people get sad. And that's the reason why more rich people are sad in our country, and if you see people on the streets, they are happier. Whenever I travel in rickshaw, I see a beggar coming in with a happy face, and right there beside me is somebody sitting in an Audi car with a monotonous face, and just alone. They just don't have anything. So it just makes me feel that whatever I am, I'm complete within myself. I think I am my own light. And like Buddha says, that apo dipo bhavo, which means that you are your own light. Look within yourself, and you'll find answers to your questions, problems, and everything else that you might be stuck in your life. So I think that's who I am. That's how I identify myself. Of course, people's perception about me might be different, and it should be different, because that's how every human respects themselves, because they should have their own opinion. It shouldn't be prejudiced or biased by any media or any other thing. So I think that's who I am. I can only talk about myself and my perception about myself. So yeah, that is it.
Wow. So your hard work, your consistency, and everything that you have been gaining throughout your journey makes you Radhika.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's really beautiful. Your second question is, having around above 1 lakh followers on LinkedIn, which is an astounding figure. How do you think LinkedIn has helped you in your journey?
So many people don't know this, but LinkedIn has given me immense opportunities, including my present job. Richard, who's the partner and head of the Bombay office at Touchstone Partners, he reached out to me on LinkedIn saying that we're looking for somebody who's good in content and who can do our communications at Touchstone. Why don't you just have a call with us and maybe we can discuss more on it? And at that time the firm was getting rebranded from Platinum to Touchstone, so I really didn't know about which firm it was. I thought that it's Nishit Desai Associates, because that's where Ruchir used to work, and I was quite excited about the opportunity. But later on I came to know that it's a new firm, newly rebranded with new office and everything. But never did I have any doubt in my mind, because it's in my innate nature to trust people blindly. Humans were initially born to trust people. It is only the negative connotations of the society and other media, due to which we just move from our own consciousness and enter into an area where we try to self doubt and try to doubt others' intentions also. And I don't think so. That's the natural human instinct. The instinct should be to trust somebody blindly and to believe in the process, whatever they tell you. So I just went for it, and after that I interviewed, I got selected, and I got my job there. That's how LinkedIn has helped me. But apart from that, actually, it's helped me connect with great industry leaders, because I often write about them and I tend to tag them, and they, gratefully read my posts. Like, for example, Jonathan Ahuja, who's the founder of Big Boy Toys, he happened to read my post and he personally messaged me saying that, so many people have written so many stories about me, but nobody has written in a way that you have. So that was actually a really good compliment for me, which was definitely motivational for me to write more stories on. But apart from that, I've also written about startups, their fundings. So I've connected with a lot of startup founders, their venture capitalists who have funded them. So I think LinkedIn as a platform can only help you when you help yourself on the platform by showing yourself up there. And I think it's the initial effort that is required in order to see the results. So I think it's only my content through which I've gotten it all. And the opportunities are immense, and sometimes it's just invisible, but it's there. And the more you talk about it, the more it tends to go away from you. It's just like you chasing money and money going away. So it's better not to speak more about it, but just remain subtle about it.
Wow. You just clear a lot of doubts at a very young age. Thank you for that. So how do you add a wow factor to your content? I understand it's your experience and everything, but do you pre-plan your content or is it very spontaneous?
So I never add a wow factor in it. I only write about the content which I feel I found it to be really insightful. And whenever I read some content, if I say wow out of my mouth, only then do I write about that content, because at the end of the day, it's the same audience. It's the humans only who are going to read it. So I think whatever intrigues me, I just write about it. Of course, I tweak it in a way that the other person can also understand, because everybody might not have the same understanding as I do of the subject. So I try to present it in the most simplified manner, because that has always been my strategy. And yeah, my research sources are nothing but normal daily newspapers. I just am a person who would read it on a daily basis and pick something up from there. I connect the dots really well. I think that's one of my strengths, touchwood. And with that in mind, I just write about any story. And for example, if there's nothing in the news on a particular day, I pick up words from there. So, for example, if there's something written about Godrej, and if it's just about their profit metrics, that how did they perform in the Q4 quarter, which is not very relevant to be posted, I'll just pick up the word Godrej. I'll search about its history. How did the business actually start? How did the generations take on the business? How did they extend into different categories, and how they are performing right now? So I just identify these metrics and try to build content around that. So I think that has been my strategy around doing pieces on LinkedIn.
Amazing, amazing. And I love the keyword thing that if there's nothing, you'll just pick that keyword, do your own research, and write about it. So, which is great. So, it's mentioned in your about section that you want to become a journalist or someday just see yourself there. What's the drive behind it? Is it your consumption of daily updates and everything, and you'd really want to get those things out in a more refined way, or is there any other thing that is drawing you towards that profession?
So I think journalism has nothing but your curiosity to ask the right set of questions. Most of the time, success comes to you when you ask the right set of questions and not just give the right answers. So I think that my questioning mind makes me very inquisitive to travel the path of journalism. And I never want to join any media company, because I'm not very biased. But I feel that it's too much touched by politics and a lot of hierarchy. There the experience matters more than anything else. They don't even look at you or your brain. They just look at how many years of experience do you have. But not every firm is like that. Of course, there are good firms as well, but I always wanted to do something independently, and that's what I'm doing currently at the Representative. I'm the senior editor and anchor there, so I take the interviews with different industry leaders, be it startup founders or the CEOs of companies like Reliance Entertainment or Avishkar Foundation. And I think LinkedIn has supported me in this regard as well, because I get the opportunity to connect with such leaders through LinkedIn. Otherwise, I don't think so. It's very easy to get to them. Yeah, so I think that's how I've been traveling that path so far. Interviews really helped me get the insights also into different industries, and that's how sometimes it helps me draft my posts as well. It just helps me add some realistic element to my posts about what's actually going on in the industry and what a person has actually told me about in first-hand experience. I'm not even taking it from the media. I'm just taking it from my interaction with that person who's there out in the media already. So yeah, I think that's how it's been, and I think Representative is my baby, and it will always be. I'm doing it as a side hustle, and it's a passion-based project that me and my friends have ventured into while we were in our college. So yeah, it's there. You can check out the website, and you'll see how we write the content. It's just the same way as much as what I do on LinkedIn.
Amazing. I'm glad to know about it, and I'm checking it right after this interview. So excited to see a couple of more pieces from you. So, you have used LinkedIn inside out. It has got you opportunities that you wanted. It's getting in you in line with what you want from life. So, how there's if there's any one networking tip, what it would be from your end to network on LinkedIn and or grow your network on the platform?
I usually don't give any tips or suggestions, because as humans, we tend to do things that are not told to us. We always try to do the things opposite of what's been told. But I think what has helped me personally, which people might use or can use, is that, when you have a purpose attached to whatever you're doing, people will definitely respond to you, and that's how you can network and increase your circle. If you're just out there randomly sending messages just to connect with people, I don't think so anyone is interested, because everybody's time is the most important currency in today's world. And I think I've always approached people with a purpose, be it for the sponsorship in my college for an event, or be it for my interviews that I conduct right now, or be it for another opportunity, whatever I might want to talk to them about. So I think identifying the purpose and having that clarity of thought in mind is very important, not just in the initial message, but after that you need to connect the dots and always think ahead of time. Just think, what will the person ask you next? And if you don't answer it rationally, the person will lose interest, and you'll never be able to establish a connection with the person again. It's a very sensitive world, and with COVID and pandemic, people have become extra sensitive. You need to be very empathetic towards everybody. Always think from the other person's perspective. Think as if you were them, and always write a message to them accordingly. And I think that's what I've been doing so far.
Amazing tip. I really get a lot of mindless messages, and I completely understand where you're coming from. So if you have a purpose and if you have a conversation already set on in your mind, it's easier to get through networking and everything. Very rightly said. So, is there a LinkedIn profile that you want all of us to follow, which you follow and you feel like, oh my God, this is it. This is my blissful heaven. Like you open LinkedIn and see one profile and like, okay, I'm going to binge read this post.
Yeah, I actually like what Rahul Subramanian writes. He's a guy who's grown from scratch. He used to work in the corporate world, but his humor has, made him reach where he is today. And just he writes one-liners, and he just gets so much of attention. And I don't look at the number honestly. I really enjoy what he writes. It's very logical. Many people there who just write one liners, which is maybe about motivational. Sometimes they demean others also in order to show themselves smart. There are lots of people on LinkedIn who do that, and honestly, they're not my pedigree, and I won't even look at them. But people like Rahul and Ankur Warikoo is also one of them who really writes some brilliant messages with respect to how organizations should function, how people within it should drive themselves. And the other guy is Ray Dalio. He's anyways a recognized profile on LinkedIn with about 20 lakh followers or so. He really writes about one principle every day from his book, Principles by Ray Dalio. I would suggest everyone to read through it, whosoever is interested in knowing about organizations, the behavior, the psychology behind people doing what they do. So I think all of that reading really helps me. I start my day with reading each principle by Ray Dalio. He posts on a daily basis, and that is also some inspiration that people should take from him. Although it's not him individually who's doing it, somebody is handling their account, but still, to do something at this level is huge. Not many leaders do that. So I think I take my inspiration from them. And I think it's a lot to do with your interest area, because I'm interested in such kind of content. I am naturally inclined towards reading it. But if somebody is interested more into finance or proper legal information, they can follow respective people on LinkedIn. So I wouldn't have anybody to suggest to anyone, but these are the people that I have followed uh, through and through.
Wow, that's an amazing list. I can totally relate to a couple of names that you've taken. I religiously follow them. So thank you for that. And I really love the book recommendation. My next question is, what is your thought about internships in India primarily?
Okay. Yeah, internships, I think, have been a great source of motivation for young kids. I think internships are also a source from where entrepreneurial mindset, in fact, gets generated in even a 18-year or a 19-year-old. And with Internshala and platforms like Intern Theory, it's become relatively easier for people to apply to different places. It's become easier for companies to hire young talent. And I've seen many posts on LinkedIn, like, for example, Shantanu Deshpande, who's the founder of Bombay Shaving Company. He keeps on posting about, meeting with young people. And he just says that he's perplexed and surprised to know about the clarity of thought they have with their vision, goals, and the level of understanding that they have of funding or finance is just to the next level. And I think with the advent of internet, it's very easy for people to learn immensely and grow. I think it's just the effort, and it's just the interest that matters. And I really wouldn't be surprised to see, even if a 14 or 15-year-old would launch a startup and get a funding from SoftBank in today's age, because I think anything is possible. And internships have definitely opened a door which takes people to paradise, and from there they can explore anything and everything possible.
I completely agree. You are so young, and I've been working with a couple of more people who are 18, 19. And there's this person who posted on LinkedIn that he wants an internship with Cred, and that post blew up, and he was offered an internship. So the young generation does not just have clarity of thought, but they're also very determined to reach their goals, and they're doing everything under the sun to reach their goals. And it's astounding to see that. And absolutely, you're actually very right. So thank you for that answer. Now, tell me a thing that is quite underrated on LinkedIn, that you feel that, oh my God, why isn't anybody doing this? Or why is nobody just using this feature? It can be stories, hashtag the featured section, or anything else that you feel is quite underrated or not being used properly.
Yeah, I think quality content is underrated. I see so many people writing about such good stuff, and people are just not interested in reading about it, because LinkedIn has become undoubtedly another Instagram or Facebook, where people are just interested in posting about their own personal photographs or achievements or just about their travel journeys. You can find everything and anything on LinkedIn. Even memes are picking up good pace. So I think the purpose of LinkedIn was to connect with corporate professionals and also share knowledge in that regard. I think the purpose is somewhere getting distorted, but it's a people's platform. It's a very democratic platform. Everybody can do anything, not denying that at all. But I think quality content is something which is very underrated. I tend to read so many good posts because I search about them. I can't feed because they are not getting good traction, and I literally have to search in my search box about some people who write really good content. So I think people should recognize this kind of content that's coming up and give them a greater push, so that more than anything else, people become more knowledgeable and informative. Because I mean, it's just for their own good. It's a very fast paced world. If they don't keep themselves updated, they would themselves feel left out. And I mean, just to benefit themselves with the upcoming trends or industrial updates, I think it's important to follow the right set of people. I mean, everybody has their own set of experiences, they have their age and time to realize their things, but the sooner the better. I think that's the only thing that I would like to say on this.
Okay, that's a very valid point. And actually, you're not the only person that I've interviewed who has said this, that leave aside the features, quality content is such a big miss. People are posting fluff, and not just fluff about the Instagram that looks very Instagrammy or Facebook, but good morning text, good night text, and sometimes just plagiarized content. So I
Yeah.
completely get where you're coming from. As early adapter or an early user of LinkedIn, a lot of people have faced this issue that the platform is evolving, and probably the early adopters are not liking it the way it's turning out to be. But then every platform has pros and cons. I've seen Quora dying a very brutal death because the quality of content that has been trending on the platform. I just hope that doesn't happen with LinkedIn. So yeah. From what age did you start curating content on LinkedIn?
So I think I was about 19 years old when I started it, because it was in the end of 2019 when I actually started writing seriously on the platform. Uh, yeah, and I think it's been about 2.5 years that I've been doing it consistently. Although I have my days when I skip the content because sometimes it's too late, or sometimes
Uh,
I'm just not able to find the relevant content. Although I say that keep the consistency alive, but I also say that don't let the quality die. And I really don't want that to happen on my platform if I'm preaching this. And I really don't believe in posting anything just for the sake of it. So I do have my days where I don't post for 2, 3 days and then I come up again and pick up the pace. But it's totally fine unless you're giving valuable information to your people
yeah.
and keeping them informed about what they should know, why they are following you. I mean, if you respect your followers, they will not really leave you. So I think that's the whole motto of it. And yeah, that's how it has been.
Okay. Do you, so okay, if I give you a choice between quality content and consistency, what will you choose?
Quality content, because it's just a matter of time. If your mind is sharp, you can write on a daily basis also, but if you don't have time, if you're engaged into some other stuff also which is giving you greater returns, I think it's valid and sensible for you to invest your time in that rather than writing on LinkedIn. But for some people like me who enjoy social media, who enjoy putting out my thoughts on a public platform, I think for them it's better to invest time and take out time for writing, but ensure that you just don't write for consistency. Make sure that the content is of great quality, because even if you have like 10 followers, it's fine, but those 10 followers should be so strong that they just spread a word of mouth in a way that those 10 followers grow into 100 by just 10x multiplication.
That's such a beautiful way to sum it up. Because a lot of people are just posting for the sake of consistency on LinkedIn so that the algorithm doesn't go against them. But
Yeah.
at the end, you have to please your community and be with your community rather than an algorithm, because just like TikTok, any platform can go here and there. It's just your community that stays with you. And if you're writing for them, you should be very honest in your writings. So, great thoughts. Where do you see yourself 2, 5, 7 years down the line?
I don't see myself anywhere. I've never planned anything my life in my life. It's just been very organic for me. Everything has come through its way because I've been doing what I love. And I think when you plan a lot, things tend to go in a different direction only. Everybody has their own kind of destiny, their own set of experiences. And I think you really can't predict anything for yourself. I mean, COVID-19 pandemic has given you enough that you really can't predict your life even after a week. How will it be? So it's actually foolish to think what will you see yourself in 2 to 5 years, because expectations really lead to disappointments if they are not met perfectly as you would have thought them to be. But if you go with the flow, if you just be like the river who's just shining when the sun shines on it, and whenever it's cloudy, it's just still flowing. Whatever the weather is, the river is still flowing, it's never silent. I think life should also be lived in such way only that you remain unaffected by the weather. Just keep on doing what you're doing, have faith in yourself, and I think anything is achievable. Never set any hard goals, or never think that if you're not able to achieve any goal, it's the end of the life or end of the career, whatever it is. Just believe that there are many doors. If one shuts, there are many other doors open. Just you need to find the right key. Nobody will come and help you. You have to find the answers within yourself and just live life on your own.
That is so nice. I thought you'll have this bigger goals and everything because you seem a very planned person or sorted or to say the least a very well aware person. But it's so good to hear from you that you're not stressing about the future so much that you're missing on to what you're building in the present. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and you're building something really great. I really hope that your platform thrives because we need definitely more your kind of content for at least the youth so that they're not
No,
the
I think my content should really inspire other people to also start writing in this domain. A leader is never a leader unless they're able to build another set of leaders. So I would love for people to actually start writing in this domain and pick up things so that, more than anything else, this will make me happy that people are following other people also apart from me in this domain, and they just can amplify their knowledge by reading every set of content on the platform by creators like me and others.
that's just really sweet of you, and you're absolutely right about the fact that leader is not leader if uh, your growth is not felicitating other people to grow. So yes. um are there any books that you swear by, or one or two books that you would like to recommend, and also TV series that you might have watched recently?
So I'm not really a great fan of movies or TV series. I don't really watch most of them, but books, I am a really huge fan of non-fictional books, which gives out the information about human behavior, about organizational psychology, how organizations are built, why have nations failed. So I just love to read how we as humans have evolved, how the nation has been formed, and why are we doing what we're doing. I mean, everybody has a different purpose in life, but it's very interesting to read about the other side of things and to know about different perspectives in the world, because it just makes you more aware about your surroundings, and the like how Charles Darwin said that you can only survive in this world when you are generally aware of your surroundings and you can adapt to it. So I think books are a really good source of information. Of course, movies and TV series are also, but for me, it's always been the books. And like I also mentioned previously, like Principles by Ray Dalio is some of the many books which I really swear by. I just think that it has helped me a lot in my life. It's helped me get clarity. It's helped me build good structures. Although, while I say that I don't plan a lot, but if I'm living in the future, at least for that present I will plan, if not for the future. So I think that's the only book that I would even recommend if people would want to read that. And apart from that, I just keep on reading snippets about different books and the summaries of the book. I am not really a person who will read the entire book, but only the relevant sections of the book is something that I touch.
Okay, okay. This is very new for me, although I have a couple of friends who follow this theory, but I never knew it's famous. I thought it's just that they are doing it. But okay, so this is probably a nice strategy if you just want to cut through and see whatever you want to see. All right. So if there's a tip that you can give to anybody who's starting on LinkedIn, what would it be?
I just think that they should write in an area that they love reading on, because if you start doing something that you don't really are interested in, you will lose out on it one day or the other, and then consistency will also get broken. You will feel that you're not doing enough, you're not giving justice to the platform, to the people who are following you. You will yourself feel demotivated and stop writing only. So it's better to do what you love doing. And I faced the same issue because I was writing something at some point in time that I was really not interested in. But somebody suggested me that you should write on this because I think that will gain a lot of traction. So I think it's good to listen to everyone, but at the end of the day, do what your heart says, do what you feel is right, because that will only take you places and make you feel satisfied. And trust me, the law of energy really works in this regard, that if you feel that you're doing something right, the universe will also make it right for you. So
True.
never go against your will, always follow your energy paths. And I think for that, I also do meditation sometimes, which helps me focus on my thoughts and helps me channelize my energy, helps me see the direction in which I want to travel. And I think, yeah, that's how I have built whatever I have on LinkedIn. And I think that's the only suggestion that I would like to give to people, that do whatever you love doing, but just be at it, and don't shift your focus into many directions. Just look at one place and you will reach your destination there. And for the matter of fact, just don't even look at reaching the destination, just look at traveling the journey, because as soon as you reach the destination, you're like, up to ho gaya, what next? There's nothing to do, let me just stop doing it. So just think that the road is too long for you to travel, and just keep on enjoying the journey. The journey can differ from a person to a person, so I really can't comment on that.
Got it. Do you have a plan B? Everything that you're doing doesn't works out. Is there a plan B?
I never have a plan A, so I can't really have a plan B also naturally. That's the reason I don't have plans, because you rightly said that what if something doesn't work out, and you only feel disappointed when you have plans in place. You know, just go with the flow. You never know what will come your way, and if some opportunities come your way, just take it up if you feel it's right. I mean, this might sound very impractical to some people because it hasn't happened to them. So you really need to experience different things in order to believe in it. For me, it has happened. That's why I believe in it. Of course, if somebody else would have told it to me, even if it's an influential person whom I follow, I still wouldn't have believed in it 100%. So, personally, depending on the personal experiences, I think so. Just being fearless really helps you, and it helps you just take risks in life. If something doesn't happen, it's fine. I mean, the life is meant to be lived. It's the work, career, everything is something that the society has made for you. If nothing works out, it's fine. You still have different ways to travel. Today's world is too huge and large. You just need to open up your eyes. It's up to you. I mean, if something is not working out, it's your problem. Nobody will shoot you in the eye and make you blind unless you feel like you should put that eye mask and not see anything. So I think just keep your eyes and ears open, and that's about it. Just be aware. That's the only thing that I would do for myself as well. And I think I'll identify opportunities on its own then.
That's so beautiful. Actually, you've got me thinking if it's all about the rat race or do we actually have time for ourselves?
Yeah.
So, and my
Yeah.
last question to you is one idea, one thought, one decision that has changed your life so far.
Yeah, I think the thought of being fearless has really changed me as a person, because I was very shy. I used to fear to speak in public. I didn't know what to say. It just used to be so blank for me. But as soon as I started reading, I, overcame my barriers, and I just started to realize that, at the end of the day, this is all just very temporary. Human life is what, average of 60 to 70 years. What are you scared of? I mean, everything is just gonna get faded. It's a very fast-paced world. People won't even remember you as much as you are thinking. So, I mean, if you're scared for people, might as well not be scared, you know. But I think this performance pressure and peer pressure is something which people are bogged down by in today's day and age. And I think if people overcome that, they will be able to see endless possibilities for themselves. I think the judgment that they have for themselves is more than what the society thinks them uh, to be. So I think people should kill that judgment and just live fearlessly. I mean, humans in their Stone Age days were so fearless, and that's the reason they survived. And that was also the reason why some of them were good friends with animals. I mean, today, so nobody can even imagine, being friends with
Yeah.
animals. They're just, I mean, animals are also running away from humans, and the same applies to humans also. Even they are running away from them. I mean, this is not how the world was supposed to be. But, with industrial revolution and whatnot, it has all been changed. But like I said, you have to adapt to the change and you need to accept it. So I think acceptance, being fearless, and being non-judgmental, these are the three things that has helped me personally grow and develop my mind. And I think I mean, it's very important to develop your mind, but at the same time, you need to worship your body also. If your body is active and you're physically fit, it really impacts the way you make your decision, and it really impacts your decision making process. So I think that is what you need to just look after. Just be physically fit and also stay mentally fit by thinking in the right direction and only having positive thoughts in your mind.
Wow, I think this interview has been by far one of the best interviews I've ever taken, actually, and not just for this series. Uh, Probably the best 35-45 minutes of my life. And I am honored that Story gave me this chance to interact with such a bright mind. I can't wait to see what you do next, where you go next. And I have never actually met a person recently who is so calm and composed, who doesn't want to rush into things, doesn't have a plan of action, A, B, C, whatever it is. And you're so young, you're so sorted. Thank God you exist, and thank you for giving me your time. It was an honor.
Yeah, you give me goosebumps now when you speak about all of this. I mean, it just, I mean, people have forgotten how to live their lives. They've just forgotten that they're humans. They've become robots, and that's the problem. Once they realize that what they are, I think everybody will get back to being normal and their life will be sorted for everyone else.
Yeah, I know. But thank you so much.